We have a final offer for you. Humans are weak. They are not ready for what is coming.
Higgsfield just dropped its latest app, Cinema Studio, and honestly, this is really good. Inside Higgsfield Studio, you can now create both images and videos all within the same app. There's no need to switch back and forth between the image section and the video section. You can come straight down here, click on image, and then pick your resolution. But now, because this is Cinema Studio, we can also choose the type of camera we want to use, like an actual cinema camera. These are cameras that most people normally can't afford. And on top of that, we also get a selection of lenses, which are usually very expensive as well. We can choose the focal length, 8mm, 40mm, 24mm, or 50mm. These are cinematic standards. So next we're going to pick a camera. I'm going to choose the Panavision Millennium XL2. Now when it comes to lenses, you have a few options. You can choose a spherical lens or an anamorphic lens. There's also a macro lens available. For this shot, I'm going to use the anamorphic Panavision C-series lens, and I'm going to set the focal length to 24mm. Now I'm just going to enter a simple prompt for the image. Mine is set in a bar where people are smoking. The bar is dingy and not very well lit. It's clearly a biker bar, so I'll click on generate. That's going to cost 4 credits. So now our image has finished processing. We have a man sitting in a bar smoking a cigarette. We can now use this as our reference image. What I'll do next is download the image. You can also click on this box here, and it will automatically place the image into the image reference box. So if you click that, as you can see, it's now set as the image reference. Now we can create multiple scenes using the same man smoking in the bar, and it will keep the character consistent. So if I type something like, "the man is talking to the bartender," we can generate another image showing the man chatting to the bartender behind the bar. While that image is processing, let's take a look at the options up at the top. We have the option to create 9 cinematic angles in a single generation, which costs 4 credits. We also have the image reference button, which lets us use each image we create as the reference for the next one. And then we have start frame and end frame. These allow us to send this image directly into the video section as either the starting frame or the ending frame. Just as an example, I'm going to click on start frame. So now that I've clicked start frame, this image has been set as the start frame in the video section. Now, in the video section, we have a few different options. We have movement, duration, where we can choose between 5 and 10 seconds, sound, slow motion, and batch size. If we go into movement, we can choose from a range of cinematic camera motions. Things like static handheld, zoom out, gimbal, drone shot, dolly left, and dolly right. This makes the process much easier, because it's one less thing you need to describe in your prompt. And it also gives you a visual preview of how you can expect the scene to look. So now that we have our start frame set, I think we'll go with a zoom out and see how Cinema Studio handles generating the rest of the bar. For the prompt, I'll just keep it very simple. I'll put "man smokes in bar," "no smoking cigarette," just a basic prompt to see how it performs. I'll click generate. While that's in progress, let's go back to images. Now we have the image of the man talking to the bartender in the bar. As you can see, it's also kept the visual consistency of everyone else in the scene. Everybody looks the same across both images. The only new person here is the bartender, but literally everything else is identical between the two scenes. If you look at the signs in the background, the motorbike on the side, even the bottles on the bar, everything is exactly the same. So for this image, I'm going to click on create 9 different cinematic angles. Now I did try this yesterday and it kept failing, so we'll see if it works today. No, again, it's failed to generate. I'm not sure why this is happening at the moment. I'm sure Higgsfield will get this fixed, because this feature is going to make creating cinematic scenes much easier. But for now, we'll go back to video. That's still processing. So what I'll do is remove this reference image and put this one into the image reference box. And now we'll change the shot ourselves. So we'll go for a forward-looking shot of the man, almost as if we're seeing it from the bartender's point of view. I'm now going to use this as the start frame for our next video clip. So I'll click on start frame. As you can see, it's now been placed in the start frame box. From here, we're going to change the movement and set it to orbit around. I'm going to enter, "man talks to bartender in bar," and then for the voiceover, we'll add a line of dialogue. So I'll put, man says. We'll give him something simple to say, like, how much for a whiskey? After adding the voiceover, I've also specified that it's the man in the leather jacket. That just makes it clearer who the dialogue belongs to. So I'll hit generate, and now we'll check out the video of the man smoking, which has finished processing. I always find that AI tends to struggle a bit with cigarettes. As you can see here, the cigarette is on fire at the end, and he's also holding another cigarette in his hand. So obviously, we wouldn't use this clip as is. But all you need to do is remove the cigarette from the prompt. And honestly, you probably shouldn't be smoking these days anyway. So I've just created a new image using the prompt. The man is fighting in the bar with a Hell's Angel. I'm doing this just to see how it handles action scenes as well. We also have this image here which we created earlier, which gives us a different perspective of him talking to the bartender. So I'm going to use that as a start frame because I want to check the voice consistency of the characters. From here, I'll change some of the prompts. We'll also change the movement. First, I'll set it to static. Actually, let's change that to a zoom in, so we'll generate that. I've set the voiceover to, "That's too much, you asshole," says the man in the leather jacket. This also lets us test how restricted the system is when it comes to language. While that's processing, let's take a look at our first video of him talking to the bartender.
How much for a whiskey?
I think that came out pretty good. It would have been even better if I'd had the bartender reply, but for a first pass, that's solid. It handled the scene quite well. There is a slightly iffy part in the background where you can see a man and a woman, and the woman kind of disappears. But overall, I think it did a good job. While we wait for the next scene to process, we'll go back to images. Now we have an image of him fighting a Hell's Angel in the bar. So we'll use this as the start frame for our next scene. I'll click on Start Frame. For the prompt, I'll put, "Man in leather jacket fights with a Hell's Angel." And for the voiceover, I'm going to add, "You're in the wrong bar, buddy," says the Hell's Angel. Then I'll click Generate. So now we have our next scene. Let's see how the voice consistency holds up and whether he sounds like the same character from the first clip.
That's too much, you asshole.
That came out alright. I feel like the voiceovers stay fairly consistent between scenes, and it also allowed us to swear, which helps make the scenes feel a bit more realistic and interesting. I also love the cinematic blue flaring on the lights, giving the scene that cinematic look from the anamorphic lens. We now have our scene of the man fighting a Hell's Angel. Let's see how this turns out.
Idiot! You're in the wrong bar, buddy.
So it came out okay, but it was the Hell's Angel I wanted speaking. I think the issue is that the Hell's Angel is facing away from the camera, and it's confused the AI a bit. So you do need to make sure the character you want speaking is facing the camera for a better result. So what we'll do is go back to images and update the prompt so the Hell's Angel is facing the camera. With the first image, it's given me the man, but it's changed his jacket into a Hell's Angel jacket, and now he's fighting with the bartender, which isn't what I asked for. So I'm going to adjust the prompt. I originally wrote something like, "The man is fighting the bar," and that's probably why it went wrong. What I actually want is fighting in the bar with the Hell's Angel. So I'll set it as, "The man is fighting in the bar with the Hell's Angel." The Hell's Angel is facing the camera, and the bartender tries to calm things down. So I'll hit generate. You have to be careful here. Even though simple prompts work, you still need to read them back. Otherwise you'll end up with weird, unintended results. So our third scene has finished processing. Let's see how it turned out.
You're in the wrong bar, buddy.
That actually turned out pretty good. This time, the Hell's Angel is the one speaking, just like we wanted. I also like the emotion it added to the scene. It clearly sensed that something was wrong, and it even added a subtle riser in the background to help build tension. So overall, I think that worked really well. What I'll do now is stitch these clips together and show you the final result. Let me know what your thoughts are on Cinema Studio and whether you think it's too expensive. I hope you've enjoyed watching, and I hope you've learned something useful. If you did, please consider subscribing. I'll see you in the next one.
How much for a whiskey? That's too much, you asshole.
in the wrong bar, buddy.